Chris Lynch News with Airpark Canterbury. Found cheaper parking? We'll beat it by 10%.
You have decided to stand down from the Wigram electorate for the next election. Why?
So just before I get into the why, I'm going to do that. One of the things I just really want to stress to all the people in Wigram, until the election, until there is a new MP for Wigram, of course I am the MP for Wigram. My door is open. Nothing changes for any constituents in that respect. So come on in. There won't be any changes till after a new MP is elected. As to the why, I've been the MP for 15 years at the next election for Wigram. If you think back, I was selected to be Labour's candidate in September of 2010, before the February earthquake. A lot has happened in that time. I thought that the biggest challenge we'd have as a community would be rebuilding after the earthquakes. Little did I know what lay ahead. In this electorate, we've had a terrorist attack. We've got through a global pandemic together. And each time there's a boundary change, I've asked myself, so in 2013 and in 2019, I asked myself, am I in it for the life of this boundary? And that's 6 years. 2013 and 2019, I could say, hell yes, I'm there for the long haul. I'll stick out the life of that boundary. I can't say that this time, Chris. I can't guarantee with my hand on my heart to people that I'd be asking for their vote that I'll still be there in 2032.
Now, why is that? What's changed for you?
I've been there. That will mean I would have been there for 21 years. That's an awfully long time in politics these times to be an electorate MP. When I think of our own caucus, in terms of people that have continually held an electorate seat for that long, I think it's only Chris Hipkins that's been there longer than me. That actually the 15 years serving as an electorate MP is a really long career. I think one of the things I've always said to myself, I want to go out when I've still got plenty more in the tank. I don't want to wait till it runs out. So it's time for me to support a new candidate in Wigram, to get in and make sure that Labour has got the best chance of winning the electorate, just like Jim did with me back in 2011.
Interesting, though, you're not actually going to be leaving Parliament because presumably you'll be quite high up on the Labour list anyway, so you'll still be an MP on the Labour list, right?
So I'll nominate for the list. Of course, there's a whole party process that has to go ahead, and I wouldn't presume to make any assumptions about what my list placing will be. I'll be nominating and putting myself forward.
I thought you'd just be like number 4 or 3 or something or other, and so it kind of guarantees you another 3 years, but it doesn't work like this. There's a process.
Of course there's a process. It's politics, Chris. But look, I really want to be part of the next government that Chris Hipkins is going to form in 2026. I want to be there and be part of it. So when I'm doing that as a list MP, I'm making a commitment for 3 years, not 6 years.
Yeah. Have you thought about life after politics?
Look, not at this stage. I'm sure my mind start the wandering. That now I'm saying I'm signing up for 3 more years rather than 6. I can perhaps start to think about life after politics.
I bet you have. You've been thinking about just relaxing on the couch and relaxing and doing nothing, staring at the wall, as I often say to Nellie or secretary or.
I think that would last about 2 seconds. Chris.
I love staring at a wall. I want to mention Jim Anderton because I remember his passing so vividly. In fact, it didn't feel like that long after he passed. Beforehand rather, I spoke to him on CTV and he seemed well, and he seemed like the sort of gentleman that would just go on and on. So his untimely death did come as a great shock. What did you learn from him in the school of politics?
I learned an immense amount from Jim. Jim mentored me for a very long period of time. I'm very lucky to count Jim and his wife Carol as friends who encouraged me and really explicitly taught me how to be an MP. I firmly believe that good MPs aren't necessarily just born, that actually there's a craft that has to be learned, and I was fortunate enough that Jim really took the time to pass on those skills to me.
I miss and I hope this is said in a respectful way, I kind of miss the politics of his bland honesty. Do you know what I mean by that? The honesty that came from whatever he said, but it was never said in a disrespectful way, regardless of his colleagues or his opponents. And he would always sort of give almost a cheeky smile at the end of some of the answers. Do you know what I mean by that?
Absolutely. I mean, Jim was nothing but upfront. And I think that's why he earned so much respect, that no one left a conversation wondering what Jim thought.
Yeah.
And it's something that I hugely respected. And I miss Jim a lot. And it was wonderful to have the time that I had, which was actually over a very long period of time, to work on Jim's campaigns and to learn from him.
Megan, what are you proud of during your tenure as the Wigram MP?
Look, I'm proud of the little things that never get spoken about. I'm proud of all those individuals that we've managed to help through the office. I've got an amazing team here with Nellie and Kimberly, who are so dedicated to our constituents here in Wigram and go that extra mile, whether it's finding someone a house, whether it's sorting out something that's just making life really difficult for someone. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. One of the stories that I'm proudest of was a gentleman that we helped. He's sadly passed away now, but we first met him quite early on when I became the MP, and he was homeless. He was sleeping rough. But by the time he died, that he actually had an amazing life and has been honoured by the community with a memorial for him in a local park. That just that simple act of getting someone into a home really turns someone's life around to that extent. But you know, I'm proud of the wins we've had as a community that I've worked with the community with. You know, Brom Street Overbridge, making sure that couldn't be scrapped. That up's there, but without doubt, Chris, the most profound thing I think when I look back on being the MP for Wigram was being with the community after March 15. The majority of the families who were affected lived in the Wigram electorate. Al Noor Mosque is in the Wigram electorate, and I have made some amazing friends, which won't end with me ceasing to be the MP for Wigram.
What was perhaps your most challenging time, not necessarily but as Wigram MP versus Minister? I mean, I was just thinking back of the times where you were Minister for MIQ at one stage, and those stressful times where things were changing so much. I mean, do you look at that and think, what do you look back and think about those times? The Minister, was it Minister for MIQ or something or other?
I was the minister in charge of MIQ.
Doesn't it seem like a lie? Doesn't it seem like a long time ago?
It does. It seems like a lifetime ago, Chris. But it was such important work that we needed to get right. And, you know, there's a number of things. I was out door knocking yesterday after I'd told my members what was happening. We were out doing enrolments and door knocking some of our new Kainga Ora houses, and incredibly proud of the beautiful, warm, dry places that people can make their lives in. I'm just really gutted that across the Wigram electorate, the current government scraped 212 of those new ones being built.
Speaking of the current government, look into that crystal ball that's next to you. Do you think they will be in, well, this is, of course, you're going to give the answer, I suspect, but what do you think is going to happen next year?
Well, I'm standing for the list because I want to be part of the government that Chris Hipkins is going to form in 2026. I think we're seeing a one-term government. People feel let down. A lot of people voted for National, believing Christopher Luxon when he told them that they were going to get as much as $250 a fortnight cash in their pockets. For most people, that's been like, you know, $3, $7, $10, $20 if they're lucky. And that's all been swallowed up by rising costs of living.
When you look at some of the newspaper reports over the weekend, a lot of it came down to whether Christopher Luxon was popular or not, and whether we like it or not, politics is a popularity contest in some respects. His popularity is questionable. What do you say?
I think it's more than popularity. I think it's about whether New Zealanders trust him and whether New Zealanders relate to him and whether they truly believe in their hearts that Christopher Luxon understands their lives, understands what they're going through. And I think that, you've got a Prime Minister who's just clearly so out of touch that people don't see him resonating and understanding their circumstances, what it's like for them to do the grocery shopping or, go to the mailbox and collect the bills with dread, wondering how they're going to pay that bill.
Just finally, in your office, you've got a nice beanbag in the back there, and I want a beanbag, but the beanbags can be quite expensive. Can I take that when you leave office?
Oh my God, are you already putting stickers under things to take when I'm gone, Chris?
I really like beanbags because I play that game with my dog. What is it? What's that game? Not fetch. Tug of war.
Okay.
And I was doing it in Lake Tekapo on a really lovely beanbag, and I thought I want a beanbag, but gee, they're expensive.
Okay, well, come down to the office and put your name under it.
Okay, and we'll put sold. Okay, they could go on GSLP Fund. Megan Woods, thank you for your service, and it's nice to speak with you this morning.
Speak soon, Chris. Thank you.